All right, good evening. I think we have everything set up correctly this time. So thanks for your patience, those who are going to come back in here. This is Bill Bostic with Linglestown Gazette Live for January 29th, 2025, 2026, actually. We're in 2026, a special edition on a few things that have occurred, or I've come into some information so that next week's show won't be so packed. And as always, here, those who are following along, get the banner up here. We're sponsored by Blue Line Pools and Outdoor Living. And like I said in an earlier attempt, we're going to try and get a new banner up here because it is Blue Line Pools, plural, Pools and Outdoor Living on North Mountain Road. They transform backyards into a type of an oasis, a great place to hang out, swim if you have a pool, great custom patios and that type of thing. And we're glad to have them on board for 2026 as our title sponsor. And what we're going to be going over some new information about Colonial Park Mall, including some brand new information about tax impacts related to that. Going to bring you up to speed on something you're going to be seeing on the primary election in May when that rolls around. And then also some things that I'd like everyone to find out as far as for Linglestown Gazette to really be a top-notch local news outlet for initially Lower Paxton Township, Central Dauphin School District, and then eventually all 7 municipalities in the school district. It's going to take a little bit of a help, and I'm going to explain some information there that maybe I'm trying to find the right way to explain it. We're going to give it a shot. But let's start off with the pools. I know before I do that, I want to I've had some discussions with Joe Gilloway and Anthony Cristillo, who are a big part of this show. And we decided, based on a quick thing I did earlier in the week, the number of people that actually came along and watched it, we're going to get rid of the Sunday show and move it to Monday at 7:00. So that's going to be the next show, not this Sunday, but on Monday at 7:00. And then depending on how things go, if there's a lot of stuff happening, like I will do a show like tonight, a special edition. And I think Susan George might be listening, and I'm hoping I'm saying Monday instead of Monday. We're going to try and do that. Monday at 7 will be the next show. All right. As far as Colonial Park Mall, I'll give you a little a trivia question first. I know in years gone by, there's been a lot of senior citizens and other people as well that go over to the mall and walk laps. They do laps around the mall, sort of do the outline of the mall all the way around. And I joined Joe Gilloway, who does Linglestown Gazette Sports and appears on this Linglestown Gazette Live as the producer sometimes and contributor. We did the walking routine earlier this week. And my question is, what is the distance if you walk around the whole thing on the, start at the food court, walk all those things, just out the outline of the mall? What's the distance for one lap if you do that? Be interested to see if anyone comes up with that, and we'll reveal that at the end of this segment about the mall. So as far as the mall, we found out that by walking the mall, there's actually 13 stores currently in the mall. And, I don't know how many spaces they have, but with 13, and one of them, the newest one actually is on an outside entrance right along Colonial Road. It's called Flea Flicker. So only 12 on the inside. That's not counting Boscov's, but 12. Maybe I did. Let's see. I don't think I counted Boscov. So what they have there is Flea Flicker. I'm going to come back to that in a moment. K Jewelers, that's by the food court. Magic Nails, one of 2 nails places. One food outlet, Osaka, in the food court. Otherwise, that's empty. There's a tailor, works on clothing. Designer Suits is a store that sometimes is open. Mr. Fix, if you have a cell phone that has a cracked screen or needs a new battery, Mr. Fix can help you out. Colonial Dollar, it's a dollar store. Chinese traditional massage, so that's available to you just off the center court. T-Mobile Shoe Carnival, a second nails place, Kayla's Nail, and then a dance studio, Tappan Arts Dance. They've been around since 1990. So that's that. And as far as the newest store, Flea Flicker, that's open Tuesday through Thursday, 9 to 5. And then as far as Friday through Monday, it says hours are subject to change based on inventory cycles. But they get this place somehow is getting merchandise from Sam's Club, including houseware, small appliances, clothing, and toys. And I think the prices are a little bit lower. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but that's where they're getting most of their merchandise from Sam's Clubs. Things that don't sell there, they bring it in here. And apparently they have, I've seen it, they have boxes of clothing very, very cheap. So when it first opened, there was quite a few people checking it out. But the new information is this. I called the township to find out about the trampoline park. I mean, that trampoline park has been talked about for a long time and it's still not open. I know there's been some activity there in building it. So I wanted to find out what was holding it up. I heard through the grapevine that they had some issues working with the township. And as it turns out, yes, they do. The new mall owner is having some issues with their building permit. Apparently, there's some discrepancies in the building permit, and they're working through those issues with the township. And that's what's holding that whole thing up as far as opening up that trampoline park. The township put out a stop work order. And this is the trampoline park that is supposed to be on the second floor of the Bonton building. And I think there's actually been work done, but they've been ordered to stop to work through some building permit issues. But here's the thing. We've been talking about Colonial Park Mall for months now, and the impact, the negative impact it would have if that mall closes down from a financial point of view when it comes to taxation. And not to go into all the details, but the estimated tax impact that the mall has is something like $820,000. And that's between property taxes and stormwater fees and sewer fees. That's what they have to put out for those things. When it comes to the township, their property tax estimate is $52,700. And then they pay money to the county as well as the school district. The school district is $340,250 is the estimate. So the biggest impact clearly would be the school district, which, when you take away almost $350,000, that's going to have an impact on our taxes. If for some reason this mall is not productive, an owner decides they're going to walk away from it and the thing starts deteriorating, or they actually don't pay their taxes. So that it has a major impact. And that's why myself and other people are saying that job number one really should be this dealing with the mall. One outline as far as what to do is the township did not, the prior supervisors did not designate any money to hire an economic development director. So the new board's going to have to deal with that, sort of rearrange the budget. And then once we do if they do hire an economic development director to form what's called an economic development authority, try and get some money from the state and have some people actively working on rehabbing that mall and getting something new in there. That's the update on the mall. As far as how far each lap is, if you go in there and walk, it's about a half mile to walk around the mall if you want to get some exercise, especially during the wintertime when it's cold. The other issue I just learned about today is that when our primary election this year is going to be May 19th. And one of the things you're going to see on there is going to be for both the Democratic Party locally as well as the Republican Party, this would be for the county. They're going to be, you'll see on the ballot, uh, you'll be voting for what's called state committee members. So these, you'll have so many from the Republicans, some from the Democrats. And when whoever's elected then represents our area, whenever the state Republican Party and the Democratic Republican Party get together and pick candidates. I believe the Republican committee has already designated who their candidate is they're supporting for governor, which will be happening this year, and that's Stacey Garrity, the state treasurer. So they've already taken that action, but there'll be other things they'll be working on. So that's one thing to look for. And if anyone wants to get politically involved, there's also local, like Lower Paxton Township committee people. So if you're interested in doing that, get in contact with me. I'm not going to go into all the details here, but these are the people who help select or endorse candidates and this type of thing. It's an important role. Sometimes people complain that the county has, if the county designates someone as their endorsed candidate, that impacts, or prevents other people from really having a shot at doing it. So anyways, that's I just wanted to let you know that's in the works here. And I think I do have a picture. The Republican candidates are already known, and I'll bring that up. I believe I have it. Yes, here it is. So I was told there's 6 positions or 7 candidates listed here in red. Mary Bateman, Loman Henry, who I think is on the state committee now, Joe Kerwin, our state representative for the Linglestown area and other sections of the township. He's already on the board now. Laura Kurtz, last year was chairman of our board of supervisors. She's a candidate. Ron Raker, and then Jill Vecchio, another person who was on the Lower Paxton Township board as an interim, didn't win the elections, but she's running. I think she's already on the state committee as it is set up right now from last year. So you'll see these people on the ballot. I believe it's May 19th. So if you have any questions on that, you can get in contact with me and we'll find out, get those questions answered. And then to wrap up the show, what I wanted to do is give you some insights into what's happening with Linglestown Gazette. Get this off. For those who don't know, Linglestown Gazette is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. It's the name of the nonprofit is actually Com News, short for Community News. And myself and everyone else helping out are volunteers. And currently, there's no plans to hire anyone and pay salaries. Unfortunately, the local news business in the United States is sort of a crappy business. It doesn't work anymore financially if you're going to try and make it for profit. But it's perfectly set up to run as a nonprofit, just cover your expenses. And since you're not printing newspapers and distributing newspapers, it's all online. Your expenses really are not that high to run an operation. But what is critical, and it doesn't cost money, but the one thing you need to do is have community volunteers. And at this point, as far as reporting, there's one community volunteer that's technically a reporter doing some reporting on crime. Her name is Linda Spots. She reported on the vape shops. She submitted something that was about the new snack shop that showed up on North Mountain Road and got a lot of response. So Linda's helping out. Occasionally I get things from Jay Purdy, stories from him, which have been great. Occasionally that shows up, but that's really it. Bill Minsker's providing some information on events. So we don't have almost no coverage of Central Dauphin School District, and that's where community volunteers will be very, very key. Now, I'm trying to find the best way of describing this. I think it sounds like it's very intimidating to get involved with a reporting operation, a news operation, thinking that I can't write a story. I don't know how to write, type of thing. And the good news is you don't have to. Really, we just have our community through these community volunteers just has to have a presence at these public meetings that are held by the school board and other things that'll come up along the way. And it's just a matter of maybe recording something, using your phone. There's a recorder, recording some things, going home maybe afterwards and just telling the recorder what you saw, what were the key decisions, maybe writing a few things down during the meeting so you can do that. But no, we're not looking for anyone to write stories, to sit there in front of a keyboard, a blank screen, and have to write something. That's not part of the package. It's really having a presence at the meetings, that someone is watching, making a few notes, the key things that happen, and providing that basic information to Linglestown Gazette. So I'm going to be working on messaging, just how to describe that, and that it can be fun when you're contributing to your community. It can be great in that you'll be joining an organization. You'll have acquaintances and different group events that'll happen. Maybe you're someone who just needs something to do, just like Linda Spots wanted to get involved in the community. Here's an opportunity to get out of your house, do something different. Some of the stuff can be done at home because there's video of live video of the school board meetings, as an example. So that's one thing we need, is community volunteers, so we have a presence in the community and get involved in something that I think will be very satisfying once you experience the fact that your name's going to be on something where you contributed some information. You didn't write the story, but you were without someone like you, a community volunteer, going out to a meeting, picking up a few notes, sending them into Linglestown Gazette. If you didn't show up, we wouldn't have a report. So you're contributing, just not doing the writing and reporting, because most people don't want to do that. Maybe feel like they don't have the skills. So we'll work with you, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun to be involved and know what's happening, keeping our community up to speed on not just what I can do, which is limited, but what we can do as a community. The other thing I'm trying to do is work with businesses that they would be what I'm calling a community partner. And it's not so much, it's not advertising. It's what I'm looking for are businesses or different businesses or services, whatever it may be, that have information that they can share about their specialty. Now, let's say it's an insurance agent. Well, as far as tips and tricks and different things to look for, they can provide information and sort of educate us about how to go about different things, and get credit for that. Being a partner, using that information, and getting it out to to viewers and different people, so that we can learn about what their business is all about. And if they get some business from that, great. Right now I'm working with a group that's putting out some great content. I'm not going to identify them because I don't want to put them on the spot. They're putting out some great content, videos that are very entertaining, short videos, and I want to get them to be a community partner. They have about 2,000 people following their Facebook page. Linglestown Gazette's probably getting closer to 8,000, and some of the videos and news articles that show up get tens of thousands of views on Linglestown Gazette, and to help them reach out to more people. But they have good information that should be on Linglestown Gazette if we can get them to be a community partner. The one group I guess I have really three community partners. That would be Blue Line Pools and Outdoor Living, our title sponsor here. Riverview Clean Fill, operated by Anthony Cristillo up in the Halifax area. He's a partner. Last month, I think I signed up Panacea Healing Arts. They're located right beside the Turkey Hill on North Mountain Road. I have the first article to get published for them. They're a community partner, and I'm talking to several other businesses as well. So if you know a business person or a company, maybe your employer, that would like to get some information out to the community about their services and what they're doing, and help people understand how they can benefit by working with this group, the business, whatever it may be, let me know. So that about wraps it up for tonight. I did look to see if there's an agenda for next Tuesday's Lower Paxton Township Board of Supervisors meeting. There is not. That's not been published yet. But there will be a meeting next Tuesday, 7 o'clock at the township, actually, they call it the Municipal Center on Prince Street, 425 Prince Street. So look for us to be online on Monday, this coming Monday, not Sunday, but Monday, 7 o'clock. We'll be back with a full edition of Linglestown Gazette Live. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you then. Take care.